Welcome to the Becoming You podcast, self-image, identity, and reinvention. I am your host, Wendy Blum-Weiss, and we are all things about improving your life. And that's in every category of your life. That's in your relationships, in your business, in your health, your vitality, in your confidence, just so that we can really know, like we're focused on being the very best version of ourselves. We have the great honor to have a guest today that's going to talk to us about what I say is the foundation of becoming you. It is our health, our well-being, our vitality. We have Nicole Kavanaugh in the house. Great to have you here. You are the founder of my favorite new studio, my workout studio, my own personal workout studio, Just Lift. It's here in Boca Raton. I know you have another studio, and you're going to be opening more studios. We'll hear more about that. But you have a fitness background, and you were the head coach of a leading fitness brand for a lot of years. So you come with a very strong background. Now, Just Lift Studios is very unique and different. So can you talk about the concept?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I mean, every word you said got me a little buzzed and excited, like all the good things, right? All the identity and the image and our best life. And Just Lift is a group fitness 1 hour workout, but it's exclusively resistance training, weightlifting. If we look at traditional group fitness, there's a lot of cardio components, whether they be treadmills, rowers, bikes, high intensity intervals, powerlifting, and then some weight training. We've taken the opposite end of the spectrum. We are all lifting, and there is no cardio component involved. This allows people to get away from the cardio that don't really enjoy it as much, or that are already doing it elsewhere, and they want to prioritize building muscle, maintaining muscle. And we also do what I call mental fitness in the studio. And that's through our mindset training. We work on personal development in the hour as well for our clients.
I was so hot on that.
Yeah.
So I feel like I grew up in the era where working out became a thing. It was the clubs that were opening up. The health clubs were opening up. I started jogging. I was trying to figure it out when I was in college. I entered a couple races. I didn't know really, where I was going to fit in. I had not worked out. Like I didn't even play sports growing up. Like I was intimidated by it. But I remember walking in a health club and thinking this place is humongous. So that's my very first thought. And then there was the gigantic weight room. And I went, okay, that looks really scary. And then there was a lot of jumping around going on because it was aerobics going on, and you had to have these certain outfits. So that was my era. So where am I going to fit in there? I was like looking at that going, oh my goodness, where am I even going to start? Yeah. So talk to me about, did you grow up with fitness?
I did. I grew up, I was an athletic person, but I was like you. I didn't play sports, but I danced. I was a dancer. I was a cheerleader. So I was doing things 6 days a week. I was in practices and rehearsals. And then I went away to college and all of that disappeared. And
Did you get that?
Oh, I gained the freshman 15. Oh yeah. By December, I came home and saw a picture of myself and I went, oh my. So I went back to school and I did find a studio because I was like, I got to dance. I don't know what else to do. I wasn't going into a gym. But I went out on that track and I ran a mile every night and I hated every step of it. It was awful for me, but all I could think about was losing the weight. And unfortunately that was what I was chasing. Not
and that
how
was
I
our
felt.
mentality.
It was, oh yes. It was all about appearance. Yeah. And then when I came home that summer, I stepped into a gym for the first time and I fell in love, but I didn't know what I was doing. I took all the aerobics classes, and if we were lucky, we put 2-pound weights in our hands for some things. Right. But I did make my way into that giant weight room, and I had people show me things along the way. And I basically taught myself because I really just loved the way I felt. And I loved who I was becoming. I felt stronger and more empowered. I was 19, but I still wanted to grow in that space. And I never looked back. I've always done, weight training in some capacity throughout my lifetime, but I'm from the same era as you. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of women. They weren't doing it. It was that for me, it was a moment. I remember being at the movies, and it was, I think, Terminator 2, and that one scene where Linda Hamilton is like doing the pull-ups, and I went, "Oh my God, that's it! Like, can we work like that and lift like that and look like that?" It felt so powerful.
For me, it was Jane Fonda.
Yeah.
And for me, it was all about the look. Like, I really cared.
yeah.
It was like an
I
outfit.
wanted to
It was
look
the
like
leg
that.
warmers.
Yeah, for sure.
It was the headband, and
yes.
they matched.
Yes.
It was about that first.
Of course, yeah. We all looked cute. Yeah, but
you had to strut it.
Yes,
yeah.
but I mean, listen, let's be honest. Even nowadays, most people work out because their priority is their aesthetics. They're thinking about how they look. I've got to lose weight. I want to put on muscle. They're thinking about that moment that they're trying to get in shape for. A lot of times it's events or milestones, and not how they feel. The same thing with their nutrition. They'll go for the next fad and the quick fix, doing extreme things, actually damaging their bodies in the process, but they're doing it for the wrong reasons. If we look at how we feel in our health and becoming somebody who is a healthy, strong, vital person, that aesthetic is going to be there for you, but you've got to give it time, and you've got to be patient, and you've got to do it the right way for it to last. And I think we all know that, like, the quick fixes don't stick, right? But it's so hard for people to get past that mentality. It really is. But I feel like weight training is a great process because it does take time, and you start feeling the benefits of it pretty quickly before you see them. And that mindset training, that mental fitness that we do at Just Lift, helps people kind of anchor themselves, plant the seed, and let it take root before they jump ship and move on to the next thing. Because they know that they're being reminded daily, this is the path, this is the journey. We're going to get there together. We're building habits, we're building discipline on a regular basis, not just in this room and with your body, but out there in the rest of your life.
Yeah, I love the connection to that. So with fitness, there are all these fads.
Absolutely.
And trends.
Yeah.
But weight training has
always
been
it's always been there.
Consistent.
Yeah.
And I remember just in phases touching on it, doing a little bit of weight training, like maybe with a boyfriend, at the gym. And now being in a different season of life, it's become not only a thing that you should do, like, why don't you do this? And also for your appearance and working out and your biceps, all the things, but for your overall well-being later in life. And one of the things that I wish I hadn't stopped, because I stop and start, like I went running, and then I started yoga and dance, like all the different things, but then, no weight training. And now back to weight training. It's not easy because there is that intimidation factor, and you want to feel like you've got support. So you've got group training. So when I first heard it was group training, that was interesting to me, but I had the big question, like, am I going to fit in? Who's going to be there? Are everybody going to be like really totally fit in the studio?
Right.
And how am I going to be able to catch up after not working out for so long?
Yeah. We're from one end of the spectrum to the other at Just Lift. I have people who come in who are absolute novices, up to people who are experienced athletes, and everywhere in between. Also different sizes. Everybody's got different goals for themselves. They also have different orthopedic issues and different age ranges. So it's a great diversity in there. I feel like anybody who walks into Just Lift is going to find somebody else who looks just like them at some point. Okay. There's no intimidation factor. Also, I call it a safe space to learn. Because a lot of people will go into a big box gym and they want to do the weight training. They want to be able to use machines. They want to be able to use barbells. They want to be able to use free weights. They see these things and they want to try it, but they're afraid of, one, getting hurt. But more importantly, they're afraid of looking silly. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Other people are going to look at me. They're going to make fun of me. And where do those people end up? They end up back on a treadmill, back on a step mill, back on a bike, and they're still not doing what they really want to do. So at Just Lift, the coaches make sure that you are confident about movement. We're going to teach you the basics. We're going to build you up gradually, little bits at a time, so that you're going to be safe and effective, but you're also going to feel like, I can do this. I just need someone to teach me. It's like anything else that you're great at in life. I mean, you're an author. The first time you put pen to paper, it wasn't something that should have been published, but over time and through repetition and working your craft, you became great at it. And we want people to be great at lifting weights. And that's what we do. And we're all still growing. Every time I put a weight in my hand, I'm concentrating on, how can I get better at this? So it's a never ending process, and it's an exciting process because you can see the fruits of your labor over time.
Here at Becoming You, we are all about self-image, identity, reinventing yourself in every area of your life. And number one is your health. I think everybody would agree with that. Fitness is so important, and it gets confusing out there. There's so many different options. Strength training, weight training is so critically important to become the best version of yourself. It has a spillover into every area of your life. Locally, here in South Florida, we have Just Lift Studios as one of our premier sponsors. This gym is first, personally, my gym. And the reason why I love it so much, I can't even call it a gym. It is a one-stop shop for your health and well-being. I used to have to decide, am I going to spend my time in the morning with my personal growth, or am I going to make it in to do my workout? Now I have found a way to combine them both in such a short period of time. For me, if I can knock it out in an hour, that is a win, win, win. At Just Lift Studios, that's it. You walk in, they do this motivational talk before you even get started. They have a theme every month. I get so psyched. I get so jazzed. They talk about your morning routine. They talk about visualization. They talk about all the things to becoming the best version of yourself. And then you go from the mindset piece into the physical. You do weight training. It's personalized. It's one-on-one in a group setting, every body type, every stage of life, young, it doesn't matter, any age, older, every age bracket. I just love the studio, and they have a special gift for you. When you use the code, which is, you guessed it, Becoming You, you get a free pass to try out the studio. And when you purchase a 10-session package, you get 2 free sessions. So thank you so much to Just Lift Studios. We love you. I'm glad you mentioned C, because you're in front of a mirror. So you look at yourself. We talk about self-image. We talk about your identity. And what we normally see are our flaws. That's where I love the mind piece, the mindset piece that you start with in the beginning before you start the workout and look in the mirror, where you have a theme every month, and then every day you talk into that theme.
Yes. Yeah.
Where did that idea come up with?
Wow.
Where did you come up with that?
Got a minute? Okay. So I'll make the edited story here. When I was, at one point in my life, when I was working out, people used to always say to me, you should be a trainer. You should open a gym. I had zero interest in that.
Just from what you were just working
Just
out.
from working out. Okay. I mean, I was good at it. I was fine. I was in good shape, but it felt robotic to me. I didn't want to teach people how to work out. And I did used to take spin classes. And there was one instructor who was very into the inspirational talking during spinning. And at that time, I know that's the norm. It's commonplace now, but back then it wasn't. It was still very technical. It was that if you don't throw up or die, keep going kind of mentality, with most trainers, which didn't appeal to me at all. But every time I went into her class, she said something that would hit me somewhere, and I'd be like, man, I needed that today. That was that was fantastic. That made me work harder and made me feel good about some other things that were going on in my life. So I approached her and I said, I want to hire you as a trainer for me. And she said to me, I don't know why you don't need me. You're good at what you do. I see you in the gym. You know what you're doing. And I said, I want to be around your energy. You make me want to be better when I'm working out. And I want to work with you. And we became friends. I did work out with her. And then at some point I said, you know what, that's what I want to do. I want to do what you do. I want to pull that piece out of people on a daily basis. It's already in them. It's there. It's their inner strength, but they've just sometimes pushed it down or forgot about it or let it lie dormant for a while. And I want them to feel that in themselves. I want it to resonate and I want it to grow. And so not even realizing at the time, that's personal development. And that's the mindset that really works well with training to enhance your performance. So that's where I started taking it when I became a trainer and later a coach. And then when I opened my own studios, that absolutely had to be a part of it.
Yeah, that is the piece right there. Mm-hmm. Because, you only have so much time in the day.
Yeah.
And we hear the benefit of a morning routine, but I always thought you had to choose.
Yeah.
You have to work on the personal growth or you have to get to the gym, but you only really have an hour to do something.
Yeah. So what goes on the back burner usually?
And
the workout.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Well,
yeah.
It really depends. I've been in phases where it's like all workout, but then mm-hmm. missing the other thing, but it wasn't your workout.
And that's where a lot of people go. They're like, well, I'm either all in or I've got to something's got to give. So I'm going to take a break from that for a while. And those are the people that we see go like this and they fall off the wagon and then they come back out of the woodwork again. The goal is to find a place where fitness fits into your life on a regular basis. And it's that constant. It's something that is so good for you that you wouldn't let it go. You wouldn't drop off the face of the earth for very long. Yeah, I mean, of course, things happen to people, but you miss it and you know that you have to build it back in. And I work with people like that all the time that say, oh, I've been this, I've been that, I'm so busy, I have the kids. I get it. But for a lot of people that come in, that's their only hour in the day that belongs solely to them. And so if we can give them a way to work on themselves physically, which is going to have so many benefits that we know about, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally, but give them that mindset, that ability to grow mentally and emotionally and take it into other areas of their life and feel empowered by it and feel stronger for it, then we've got it. We've got it all in 1 hour for you.
I agree. I agree with that. That is the one piece. People think that it has to be like, I'm working. I have to be at work. I have to be at my computer. And I need to focus on XYZ without really thinking through that they will be more productive.
Yes.
If the key objective is how do I increase my productivity? You increase your productivity by getting to the gym, doing a weight workout. You feel so good about it. And when you feel good, you can do more good in the world.
Yeah.
You're going to be more creative.
Yeah.
You're going to be better on your sales calls.
Yes.
You're going to be able to go to all those meetings where you would crash and burn and you can't go to that networking event at 7:00 at night because you worked out.
Absolutely.
In the morning. You're going to have the energy to go and you're going to feel good about yourself when you show up to be there.
Yeah. That's the reason why corporate wellness is such a big thing these days, because businesses realize that if they want more productive employees, they have to have healthier employees. They have to have happier employees, and they have to give them that time for themselves to take care of themselves in order to benefit all. Everybody wins. You're going to be sick less often. You're going to be more excited about coming to work. You're going to know that your employer cares about you and you're not just a body or a sales call or money for them. You're also somebody that is a valuable asset to them. And yeah, it does. It does all of those things.
It took a while though. They didn't do it overnight. Sure. They had to do the financial analysis to see if it cut back on sick time.
Yes.
And when they were able to put dollars and cents to it, and they've been able to do that, that it made sense, and then willing to invest the money into doing it. And so now there is a strong movement. It used to be put a little gym in.
Yeah. No, I mean, but they pay for memberships, and they do encourage, and they do retreats, and there's all kinds of things out there now. It depends on who you're working for, but I feel like I'm a business owner. I want my staff, of course, they all work out. That's part of what we do, but they know that they're happier people when I give them that time. You need that space in class, it's yours. I want you in there. I want you working out. I want you to feel good. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be strong, because you're going to pay it forward. You're going to be allowed to, you're going to be able to give that to other people. We lead by example. Absolutely. But everybody just, I don't know. It's an energy that it's contagious. Honestly,
I agree. You walk in. So if the goal is for becoming you, if the goal is more peace, it gives you more peace because you actually put your body to the test. Yeah. So when you actually move your body, then you feel calmer afterwards, which is really interesting. The after effect. What is that? The dopamine?
It is. And I think it also gives you coping skills, because when you get uncomfortable physically, and you do push those limits, they expand over time with those limits. And you're just going to find that the same things that used to bother you don't bother you anymore. You have the capability, those triggers, they're not going to hit you as hard. Like somebody cuts you off in traffic where you would normally, you're just like, you know what? You have a nice day. You know what I mean? It's not something that is going to, you're not frustrated and irritated, all the time. So the after effects of working out are absolutely.
You get
beneficial.
high. I literally
do. I don't know if everyone else does, but it's my drug of choice for sure. Yeah. I feel it sometimes. I really feel like there is nothing like this feeling.
So for someone who's thinking, I'll reach for whatever your vice is, to go shopping therapy or food therapy or any of those things, that the workout, they don't actually tie the two together, but that's therapy. Can you just imagine a world where doctors and health professionals actually take out a prescription pad and they write on it, just lift?
That's the best thing I think I've ever heard. Thank you, Wendy.
We get to imagine it. We get to imagine it. We imagine that's if you're here in South Florida and soon to be in a city near you, that your doctor, and if you're a doctor and you're listening to this, hey, you
definitely want to get out your prescription pad. Yes.
Yeah. There you go. Well, I see the world is moving that way.
I do too. I think that I absolutely do. I think people prioritize their fitness more than they ever have. And it's a fantastic time to be around that. I think we're developing this for our children. We're leading by example in that way as well. I have so many clients that send me videos of their kids at home. They see them sometimes, working out, and they're right there next to them, babies, and they're playing around. They're going out to the fields, and they're keeping their kids active. And the kids are saying, "When can I go to Just Lift with you, mommy?" It's what needs to happen, and it has to happen in every generation. We have a responsibility to lead them into healthier lives. And lifting is definitely one of those things that's happening in the younger generations. I see it now, especially with women, young women, teenagers in their 20s, my daughter's in that age range, everybody that I see. So I follow that generation. I see what's going on because it's part of my life. They prioritize lifting over everything else. They'd rather do that than cardio any day. They know how important it is. And yes, a lot of them are looking for the aesthetic that goes with it, but that's okay. We were chasing the aesthetic when we were teenagers in our 20s. We just talked about it. And then as we mature, we start to think about the longevity and what the benefits are. We're also reaping the benefits over time. So we know what it does for us. And I think that that's another thing that needs to be addressed more. And it's starting to come to light is, as we get into golden years, what does that look like? What does my body look like in my 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s? And how am I living my life? Because we plan for it financially, okay? We plan for retirement. Everybody encourages that. But we need to encourage people to
financial planning.
Exactly.
Health planning.
We need health planning. We need muscle planning, okay?
Muscles, for sure.
Because the quality of functionality and what you're going to be able to do, dress yourself, bathe yourself, be independent, as long as you can. Nobody wants to have somebody taking care of them. But the only way to do that is if you start building muscle and maintaining muscle. Even if, I don't care if you're 70 years old, start today. Yeah, you're behind the 8 ball a little bit, but that's okay. It's never too late to begin doing something that you know is going to be good for you. And if it's going to make you happy, you need to be doing it.
That's our theme.
Yeah.
It's never too early,
Yeah.
and it's never too late.
Mm-hmm.
Change your identity.
Reinvention.
And
I'm looking at it right
change
now.
your life. It's totally right there. We can become the next version of ourselves.
Best version.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what age we are.
Yeah.
And I 100% agree with you that everybody should take a field trip, a school field trip to assisted living.
Yeah.
Because right away, and then talk about the points. I spent so much time there last year with my mom who passed at the end of last year, and to see how many elderly women, mainly in the assisted living, because they live longer, that you see that it's the simple act of getting out of a chair and to be able to use their arms to do that.
Right.
That should be the motivation.
And the women that are in those assisted livings right now, we're coming from a generation where lifting weights was not something you did. You had to be thin, almost fragile looking. Okay. You didn't want to have any muscle on you. That would make you look masculine. It would make you look unattractive, unappealing. Let's tone, but not too much. Thigh gap, that's all the things, right? But now we're looking at what's the next generation look like. And our goal should be to empty those assisted livings in the future.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great goal. That's a becoming you goal.
Yeah. Let's drive them out of business. We don't need them anymore. Okay.
We need to live in communities that embrace all ages, that have all of the resources self-contained.
Yes. Yeah.
And Just Lift Studios. That's what we need. So that's the vision of the world. So
you set that up and I'll come in and take over and do all of that for them.
So tell us on that note, tell us where we're going with Just Lift.
Well, wow. Well, our first studio opened in 2021 in Coral Springs. We opened in Boca under 2 years later in January. And that studio is finding its way and building up day by day. But we are actually I was looking at space the other day for our next location. I don't want to say where yet because, I have a lot of requests. I literally get people messaging me daily saying, can we get one here? Can we get one here? There's nothing like this. Where can I find one of these like what you're doing where I am? And I say, I don't know anybody who's doing what we're doing right now in the way we're doing it. I'm not saying there isn't group strength training out there because of course there is, but I don't know that they're doing it at the level we're doing it. And I don't think that they're doing it. I know they're not doing it with the quality that we're doing it, and really reaching out and finding people to love. I mean, people come in and they just say, I'm just addicted to this. I'm obsessed. Most people who walk in the door, they start saying, I'm just going to add this in a couple of days a week. I'm going to stick with my other stuff. And then the next thing I know, they're coming in saying, when I'm at the other place, I wish I was here. And then they eventually just come into Just Lift a solid 4 to 6 days a week. Yeah. And addiction. It's a healthy addiction. Absolutely. Healthy addiction. Yes.
For our listeners, if you don't have a studio close, if you have a studio close by, you've got to go. So you absolutely have to go try it out and see for yourself.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you want to make sure that you follow Just Lift Studios on social media.
Yes.
Your social media presence alone is so inspiring. That in itself will inspire you to get to the gym, to work out with weights, and you see all the different ages, all the different stages, all the different body types.
Mm-hmm. It's for everyone. I mean, it honestly is. It's for every person. And especially the people who say, I love to lift, but I just can't find any place where I can do it like in a group like this, because if I go to the gym, I don't know, I don't feel as comfortable there. Or if people who want to do it because, and how many women are coming to me now and saying, actually, their doctors are telling them they need to start doing more resistance training because they have osteopenia or osteoporosis, and they're starting to see the signs of things, or they're trying to prevent it from happening. And they're sending them and saying, let's get going on this. Okay. And those are the doctors you want, the doctors that are talking to you like that. So yeah, we do it all. Yeah.
On that note, I know you have a special gift for our listeners.
Yes. Well, first of all, you get a free class to come in and try Just Lift. So we'd love to have you do that. You can book that on our website. Also, we have, for anybody who's listening today, let us know that use the buzzword becoming you. Okay. Because this is the Becoming You podcast. We will give you 2 free classes on your first 10 session package. And we'd love to have you guys be a part of Just Lift and see how it can change your life.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Love this conversation. Want to invite you back, Nicole. Thank you for everything.
I can talk like this for hours.
That you are doing. I'm all about it.
Okay, thank you.
I'm all about becoming the strongest, best version of you. So thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.